Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. I am in Pokhara, Nepal. I don't know if you can hear me. Let me know whether you can hear me, if there is anyone out there. Okay, yeah, I don't think that anyone is online, but that doesn't matter because I still have to do what I'm supposed to do. So let's start. So today I want to talk about this recent visit of a few African leaders who went on a peace mission to Ukraine and to Russia. So the whole thing about this mission was that they were going to propose a peace plan for both countries. Now, I don't want to get into the distractions at first unless someone asks, but what I want to talk about is South Africans, because I don't think a lot of South Africans, especially non-white South Africans, are interested in politics. Now, why I say this is because based on the comments about this mission, I can see that most South African non-whites are totally clueless about South African politics. And the thing is, I don't even live in South Africa, but it seems like I know more about South African politics. They're not clued up about South African politics, about world politics, and South Africa's place in global events and just in the global political sphere. Okay, yeah, this is going to be a very racial kind of commentary because, you know, South Africa, you know, we are the rainbow nation, and like it or not, we are not really like a melting pot. No, we still stick in our little corners. Now, when it comes to the white South Africans, I really have a big problem with white South Africans, online and just in general, the ones I know personally. Not all, some. White South Africans are still yearning for the glory days of apartheid, which is weird because even their children are like that. And I mean, they are the new generation. A lot of them weren't even born during the apartheid or have not even lived during the apartheid. And just from reading comments online and people interacting with me online, white people, because it's mainly white people who have this issue, there is absolutely nothing positive that they can say about South Africa, the country, or about the leadership. Now, yes, we have issues with our leadership. This is a known fact. But, you know, even if we have issues with our leadership, there are a lot of things that they do get right. There are a lot of things they get very wrong. But you have to be, when it comes to deciding right and wrong, you must give due where due is necessary. You cannot just, because one thing is bad, now everything is bad, or 6% is bad, or whatever. You have to, if something is right, it's right. If something is wrong, it's wrong. And then you must learn how to compartmentalize these things. I don't know what has happened to education, especially in South Africa, that people cannot do this anymore. People don't know how to compartmentalize things and how to understand if something is truth, it's just truth. And doesn't matter who says it, it's the truth. And if something is bad, it's just bad. It doesn't matter who is doing it, it's bad. Now, So what I've been observing online is, which is weird, even the DA, which is this, as far as I'm concerned, they are the ex-NP, National Party of South Africa during the Apartheid era. Same ideology, same. Doesn't matter how they want to color it, because I used to support them, and when I saw exactly what they were about, I came out of it. But especially, what's her name, Helen Ziller, they've been trying for a while now to cause division in our country, and this has been escalating since this Ukraine-Russian conflict broke out, which, because they wanted us to pick a side, and they wanted South Africa to pick Ukraine side, which to me doesn't make sense, because South Africa will never pick Ukraine's side, because Ukraine is known as a white nationalist, white domination, white supremacy, Nazi state. So, there is no way that we would ever side with such a nation. Never. So I don't know what the DA is thinking. And then their leader is a white man. Again, a white man will never rule South Africa ever again. If he does or she does, it's because our country was probably destabilized by an outside foreign entity. I don't want to mention who, but we all know. And because of that destabilization, that outside force probably supported some white nationalist group in South Africa, which then staged a coup, which then would mean they would prop up some white friend of said force country. That's how a white person would come in power in South Africa, because that's how it normally happens in other countries, right? We've seen that happen. I mean, for those of us who pay attention to politics, because some of us are like, oh, I don't care about politics. Well, that's fine. We don't all have to care about politics, but I do. Always have and always will. Anyway, yeah, so yes, so DA and mainly white people and upper class coloreds and Indians wanted us to support Ukraine. But what we did is we stayed neutral, because we have to put our own interests first. And by staying neutral, it means we don't pick a side. We are not pro-Ukraine, we're not pro-Russia. But because we are a BRICS nation, we are part of the BRICS alliance, of course we will be doing a lot of negotiation and work with Russia when it comes to the economics of our country. Duh. So obviously when you look at it, we are doing zero talking, having meetings or whatever with Ukraine, because we have nothing to do with them. With Russia, of course we will, because we are a member of the BRICS alliance. I don't know how people cannot get this in their head. Oh, South Africa's always palling up with Russia. It's not palling up with Russia, it's because they do business together. And if we had to pick a side, let's say we had to pick Ukraine's side, bye-bye, BRICS. And all you people who keep fighting about, oh, the taxpayers' money and load shedding and blah, 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 blah. You think things would be better if we supported Ukraine? No, it would just be the same. Or worse. The load shedding has got nothing to do with Ukraine and Russia. That's an internal problem. Okay, so you must learn to compartmentalize. There's internal problems that we have, and then there's problems that we have on the global arena. Now, A lot of people also, especially white people, were saying, yeah, why would South Africa and other African nations go to Ukraine and Russia for this peace talk or peace proposal when we have so many problems in our countries? Yeah, true, we have a lot of problems in our countries. And while we have these problems in our countries, you must understand Africa. So let me give some geography lesson here. Africa is a continent. And it's a continent on Earth, which means it is part of the global community. So if there is any global event happening, Africa has to participate. Because contrary to the beliefs of a lot of non-African countries, and especially white people, Africans are not monkeys. We are quite educated and philosophical to be able to participate in global events. I know a lot of you are shocked. I never knew that. True. We're not monkeys, I swear. Okay, yeah, we might be evolved from monkeys, but you know, we are capable. We are capable people. So sorry to burst your bubble there, but yes, we are capable of participating in global events. Even if events in our own countries are not up to par, yes, but like I said, compartmentalize. We have internal issues, and then there are global issues. Hey, hi! Can I mention your name? Okay, if you don't, I'll take it out later. How are you? Yeah, I just came out of the shower. So it's twirled so that later when I take out the twirls, it will be like, it will just fall properly. Hope you're doing well. Okay, yeah, so let me just like Vanita there. Yeah, so as I was saying, we have to compartmentalize. And because the African Union had a meeting, well, a few meetings, and from what I can gather is, thank you Vanita, namaste. So what I can gather from what is happening at the meetings, well, not what I can gather, what I did learn when I watched some of the meetings, is that because of the Black Sea, because of the sanctions, so the grain can't come to Africa. Which, I mean, internal problem would be, why is Africa not growing its own grain? But anyway, that's another problem. And actually, I don't think South Africa is the African country that's having the problem with the grain thing, because South Africa is a very rich country. It's affecting the other African countries who are not as rich as South Africa and who rely on grain from Ukraine and from Russia. So of course, because it's the African Union, all the nations have to stand together in unity to solve the problem. And that is why they wanted, or they want Ukraine and Russia to come together and sit at the table and not fight. Now, this is why they had to get involved. Because, like I said, this is a global event, or not like I said, it just is a global event. So, of course, every continent and every nation is affected by it. Although you try not to be affected by it, you are. And for us, it's worse because we are a BRICS nation, a BRICS member. So we, of course, are very affected. And South Africa is the richest country in Africa. So, of course, all eyes will turn to us. So white people, please get that into your head. I'm especially talking to white people because somehow non-whites do understand that. White people, even South African white people, still see us black non-white people as monkeys, as inferior, not capable of running a country. Look how you messed it up. Yeah, because you see, during the apartheid, things could go smoothly for you, the white person, because only you were benefiting from most of the money. Most of the budget went to you. So you did not notice that what is happening now also happened those days. It's just that you were unaffected by it. You were unaffected. And the same goes to some of my non-white friends who are like, no, during the apartheid this never happened. Yeah, because we were staying in locations that were not affected. Example, let's just take load shedding for example. I stayed in Rivoli, the rich part of Rivoli. Never had a blackout. My friends, my classmates who stayed in Rivoli Extension, which we call Zombie Town. Now we call it Zombie Town because they had no electricity. So of course there was no load shedding. Because they didn't have it all and we had. Same with areas in Soweto, same with Alexandra Township. It happened everywhere. The only people who never experienced load shedding were white South Africans and South Africa, more upper class South Africans, middle to upper class South Africans. So, okay, I digress. So coming back to this peace mission. Okay, then on Twitter, especially DA, everybody's like, oh, it was a failed mission. Don't know why Africans are sticking their noses into this problem. It was a failed mission. They went there. I am embarrassed to be a South African, blah, blah. It's like, excuse me, why was it a failed mission? A few African leaders formed a delegation. They went to Ukraine. They addressed Zelensky. They have a 10-point peace proposal for him. They presented it to him. When they were finished, they went to Russia. They did the same thing with Putin. That was their mission, to present their peace proposal. So mission accomplished. How could that be a failure? Because now it's up to Zelensky and Putin to decide what they want to do with it. That's all. There's nothing South Africa can do. They cannot have a gun to Putin's head or a gun to Zelensky's head. You have to follow. These two leaders have to answer because it is their problem. They are fighting each other. So I don't know why Helen Zille and the DA and a lot of the white South Africans and a few non-white South Africans, I'm being very racist here, are saying it's a failed mission. They went out and accomplished what they were going to do. They didn't go there to force Zelensky to surrender or force Putin to withdraw his forces from Ukraine. No, that was not their mission. Their mission was to go and present the peace proposal. That's all. Now it's in the hands of the two leaders. Zelensky already outrightly said he's not going to even consider it because Russia has to leave. They want all their territory back and Russia has to leave. Obviously, I don't know what. Putin has not said much, but realistically, I don't think there's anybody in the world who thinks that Putin is going to give up the territory that he has already conquered. So, dream on, Ukraine. That's all I can say. Okay, now the other thing is also, if you are a South African and you have a Ukrainian flag in your profile, you know what I want to say to you? Sis! Sis! Because you have a flag of a Nazi, white domination, white nationalist, white supremacy state in your profile. Shame on you for calling yourself a South African. You should think about that. It's disgusting. It's a disgrace. And you do not call me your friend if you have a Ukrainian flag in your bio or profile, because that shows me that you see me as an inferior human being. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. You don't even have a South African flag in your profile, but you have a Ukrainian flag. What the hell is wrong with you? You are a sellout. We had people like you during the apartheid in our own people, other non-whites. who were pro-apartheid, and now I'm seeing them now being pro-Nazi. What the hell is wrong with you? Sis, there's a vuil gat. Okay, moving on. Let me see what else I can get angry about. Let me just check if any Twitter messages came in. Nope. South Africans ought to chicken shit. Okay, so of course there were two distractions. The first distraction is that the Polish government did not allow Ramaphosa's security detail or the journalist to enter Poland, and also refused to give them clearance to leave Poland to go to Russia. Now, this is also very strange because South Africa has been doing missions since the day we became independent from the British. Even with the new South Africa, we've been doing missions, we've been flying all over the world. Why is this the first time that this delegation did not know how to do the proper paperwork? This is very strange. Now, if this is from the South African part, then this is still strange, because what kind of people are working in the South African embassy in Poland who didn't know to make sure they have the right documentation? And what kind of people were working in our government in South Africa who didn't check on that? This is what I don't understand. Because usually when you apply for permits and stuff, they give you a list of what you must have, and they will tell you whether it's original or not. Because now the thing is, it has been said that it's because the South Africans did not have the original documents. They only had printed copies. So let's say they did only have printed copies. Why could the originals not be sent to them, couriered to them immediately? Or how it can also be done is, let's say the documents are in South Africa, it can be taken to the Polish embassy in South Africa, and they can verify the originality of it and then clear it there. I'm saying this because this happened to me. I'm a world traveler. We've had on a few occasions where we had this problem and got solved very quickly by my embassy, like that. Well, by the Malaysian embassy, like that. So why could this not happen there? So very fishy. More, I think even fishier still is like, how can why were the journalists not allowed? I mean, they don't carry weapons. The weapons I can still maybe understand, but the journalists? Anyway, it doesn't matter. The fact that they couldn't enter does not make the mission a failure, because Ramaphosa still went and spoke to Zelensky, him and the other African leaders, and they all still went to Russia and spoke to Putin. So I think there's a very serious English comprehension problem going on here, that people don't understand what the word fail means. Then the other distraction was the alleged missile attack while the African delegation was in Kiev. And I say Kiev because when you look at the Cyrillic way it's written, that's how you pronounce it. I'm studying Russian at the moment, so I know. Don't come tell me about Kiev and all this crap. Kiev, okay? Because if you can say Iraq and Iran and Pakistan and Afghanistan, then I will say Kiev. So, okay, continuing. So where was I? Yeah. So that thing that happened. Now, it was said that there was a missile strike from Russia in Kiev while the delegation was there. So the spokesman from the South African delegation, I think he's from the security detail, he said they didn't hear anything, they didn't see anything. People were going about their business as usual. When the reporter asked him, did you go were you taken into the air raid shelter or something? He said no, nothing happened to them. And then they asked him, did your president go into the air raid shelter? And he said yes, he was taken to air raid shelter. Now, this is what I'm thinking. I don't know why these people were not taken to the air raid shelter and they didn't hear anything. Maybe Ramaphosa was somewhere else and they were somewhere else. I don't know. But let's just assume they were in different places. So, of course, the delegation, they didn't hear anything because they were somewhere else. Which is weird because normally it's very loud. But anyway, Ramaphosa was somewhere else. And maybe there was a siren. And then they grabbed him and said, go into the shelter. And then he went. Because this happened to us when we went to Israel. For some of you who remember when we went to Israel in the 70s. Take you and you go into the shelter. And then, why? Oh, because there was a missile strike. Now, whether Ramaphosa, because I watched his speech where he said, oh, I don't have it verbatim, but people are making it out that he said he saw it, he witnessed it. That is not what he said. I don't have it now here with me, but it was, the way he said it was very general. It was like, it's like as if someone told him, oh, there's an air strike. You have to go into the bunker. Can you hear the siren? And he heard the siren, and this is what they told him, and he went there. And then people said to him, oh, yeah, we saw the Russian missile hitting, and we experienced this. So because when he spoke, it was as if he was saying, like speaking to those who witnessed it, those who experienced it. It's not like he was saying, I experienced it, I witnessed it. That's not, again, English comprehension. When I watched him speak, that's not what I got from it. I got that he was just talking like in general about what he heard. Now, my thinking about that whole airstrike thing is that why would Russia do that when they know the African delegates are there? That is very stupid. I'm not even a war strategist, battlefield strategist, or political analyst. I'm nothing of that. But even me, as a normal, just lay person with a little bit of a brain, I would not do that. Because, let's say if I was Russia, I would think it would, first of all, it would look bad. Because there's these people, I'm trying to show I'm Russia, I'm so good, this is not, I'm just, I was provoked, so I would be on my best behavior because there's a delegation there. I'm not going to want to put their lives in danger. Second of all, one of my BRICS member nations is there, and other potential future ones, because Egypt is there and everything. I would not want to make them my enemy. I mean, that's what I would do. I don't know how stupid Russia is, because according to the Ukraine and everyone else, they're very stupid, and they did that. But me, just as a normal person, I would not be that stupid. No. I don't make enemies, I make friends. And my friends are there. So I'm not going to want to bomb them. And also, on the global stage, it would just look bad if I had to now kill, how many of them were there, 7 or whatever, African leaders. That would be the end of Russia. It would be the end of Putin. So that's just how I would think. Then the other thing would be is that I think personally it was a false flag. False flag means it's like a setup. You do this so that the African leaders can see how bad the situation is, and then they want to, but I don't know what Ukraine would think they would do. They would condemn Russia, but you know, as much as even I think Cyril Ramaphosa is a muhu, I don't think he's stupid. There's a very big difference, because people get very confused between someone they don't like and stupidity. Yeah, Cyril might be a muhu. biggest muho ever. But that man is not stupid. I'm telling you now, that man is not stupid. Not at all. And for those of you who think that us Africans are stupid because, you know, we are monkeys, we are backward, it's that. Because we're not. Okay? Right. By the way, that's not a swear word. Futsak means go, like take your, it's, foot means foot, say it means I say. So foot, I say, go, I say. So futsak, that means I think go. Idiot of the first order. Okay. So basically this whole rant is probably against white people, white South Africans. Especially like the DA, because you all are trying to cause a division in the country. That's what you are doing. I don't know if you are setting the country up to be destabilized because there's some outside force supporting your agenda. You must remember, I travel the world. I was just in Iran. I saw them doing that in Iran. Foreign instigation going on there. Okay? So that's why I just told some of my friends in South Africa, my non-white friends, you guys have to be careful. Don't walk around with blinkers. You must look what is going on. Look at the number of fighters, Afrikaners, Boere we have fighting in Ukraine. Look at these things. New Zealand knows. Look at the Christchurch bomber. Where did he get, who did he mention in his manifesto? He mentioned the neo-Nazis in Ukraine. And when you look at AWB ideology, Afrikaners word before, or Afrikaners working backwards, I can't remember what it stands for. And the NP, our old NP, our new DA, watch their ideologies. And then go and look at the Ukraine ideologies. Do people have to wake up? And I'm sure this thing will get banned off YouTube or Facebook. I don't care. Because I'm going to stand up for my country. During the Apartheid, I was outspoken. I stood up. I'm not going to keep quiet now again. So, okay, no one came online. I know it's a Monday. Everybody's working. I'm also working. This is my job. So, yeah, last time I didn't leave the thing open for questions. So what I'll do is, I'm again not going to leave it open for questions. But if you have questions, once the video is uploaded, you can ask whatever questions. And to all the white people out there, I don't hate you. I'm just calling a spade, because it's not all of you. Because I know some of you are on my side. You know who you are. But some of you need to wake up. And especially if you're a South African who has dual citizenship, or you're a South African who doesn't even stay in South Africa and you are white, I think you need to maybe zip it a little bit, or stand with RSA, hashtag StandWithRSA, and stop standing with things that goes against the interest of our country. We need to get better leaders and support our leaders and stop bad-mouthing our leaders when they are doing good things. If they're doing bad things, yes, I understand. But when they are doing good things, we must be able to separate those good things from the bad things. That's what we have to learn as South Africans. Because united we are not. We are not. Not at all. So anyway, have a good day, wherever you are. Cheers.